A lot of people don't know how long we've been like doing shit together. It's a long, long time.
All right, so we started. Mr. Dean Lister, how are you, sir?
Oi, tudo bom? All good, all good. Good to see everyone here. You know,
And Mr. Hans.
hopefully we get Rose here soon, so we can meet each other. You know, I want to introduce my good friend Hans Molenkamp. He's been on my corner, always been with good advice under him, and also a good friend for, let's say, damn, 20 years, 21 years.
You guys were just saying, right? 2001. That's well, 22 years now.
We were really young when we first met, and now we're old, and Dean's head is still...
Yeah, my body caught up to my head though. That's what happened.
And I have to say, Hans has one of the best Instagram accounts ever. Like it's so funny and entertaining. Like I love it. I follow. I had no idea. I unfollowed a bunch of accounts, and yours was one of them because my account got deleted in December, and I just got it back. And it's crazy. It's like 4 months. So I refollowed you, and it's one of the ones that I love is those little highlights, like you getting beat up by Stipe and Holloway and Dean, and it's so funny. It's so funny.
You know what, man? I find that people like to see me get hurt.
No shit, right?
It's one of those things, man. It's like I could talk about like everything I've done in business, everything I've done, and from building cages to like going to Pride, and like crazy MMA stories. But like, I'll put a photo or a video up of somebody like beating me up or doing something, and it just goes crazy.
It's crazy, right? I did a little funny thing with Alex Portan, and he was just like fake punching me, and people were like, "Oh, you shouldn't make it real, like a real punch, like one punch." I was like, "Are you fucking out of your mind?" Like, it's like that would not be fun. It might be fun for you, but that would never fly. So look, exactly right.
Yeah.
You guys, you were about to tell a story about the trip to England with Rampage that you guys got stuck there. That's why I say like, oh, let's record this and we'll just keep shooting the.
Well, I mean, it goes back deeper. I mean, it starts in 2001 when Dean started basically it was a fight school. It was like the first real fight school in San Diego. That was legit, and there was like very, very, very few people that were offering, no-gi and like, I mean, Vale Tudo training. Nobody was doing it. Before that, there was the Lion's Den with Ken Shamrock.
Yeah.
And then it was really nothing. And so it's like, you had a few jiu-jitsu schools, but there was maybe 2 kickboxing schools, like Muay Thai schools. Hey.
Did you guys talk bad about me?
No, we were just here waiting for you.
Vem cá, vocês estão falando em português ou inglês?
No, English.
Okay, sorry. So, did they talk bad about me?
Not yet. We'll literally just started.
He was talking about the entire time.
I made a mistake in Portuguese, okay?
It was a big mistake. It was a big mistake.
I said
it was a big mistake.
I already texted you, so you know what it is.
Oh, thank you for including that.
Thanks for the heads up.
Yeah, I'm glad you
got lovely
out,
host Gracie. And yes, this is my friend Hans. You met.
Hi, Hans. How are you?
So they freezing up a little bit, you see?
Good.
Are they on safari?
I'm on safari. Yeah. Should we not be on safari?
Oh, are you really? That
that
might be why?
That's the reason why I'm late, because I had to download Google Chrome for this thing.
Yeah, it says it works better on Chrome.
Chrome? Were we working on PCs in the 90s?
It's working. We're doing it.
It's good. We're fine.
Okay, all right. In the 90s. That just answered everything I had to say about this.
We're on Windows 95 right now. Dean was 35 years old when that came out.
That's true. I was.
So he was telling basically how he met Dean and back in 2001 at City Boxing. I also said City Kickboxing. That's a different gym. In a
Totally
different
gym. 100% totally different gym. But City Boxing was around. It was the first like real MMA gym, I would say. I mean, like that brought out some serious names. There's a lot of people that came out of City Boxing that were, that under Dean's leadership that went on to fight in the UFC, and like some big organizations. But like, it started small. I mean, like it was just this. I mean, it was on a Resi Light mat. You guys know the old Resi Light wrestling mats. It just rolled out, and Dean would teach his class, and then there would be they had a very good kickboxing program at the time too. So everybody that really wanted to, like, for real train and get into it started going to City Boxing, and that was the gym. And Dean and Jocko were it.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
OG times.
Dean never invited me to go to that gym. Can you believe that?
That's really not cool.
Were you guys friends in 2001?
Yeah,
Me
yeah.
and Dean?
I knew.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew her. Well, the thing is, no, I was kind of. There was a time where I was doing all no gi. It's for political reasons. It was nothing. It's kind of like I felt like not welcomed by many Brazilians at the time because political things. Not from Rose. Rose is always my good friend. But there's a time when I'm not saying any names, but I was, I was doing no gi and I was doing MMA. I was fighting in Pride in Japan, and at that time it was looked upon as like you're a creonchi if you did no gi. It kind of like that. You're a creonchi. But when I'm doing no gi, the guy can't even wear a gi in the UFC. It's illegal to wear a gi in the UFC. So I'm not training gi. The guy's trying to punch me in the face with, or elbows. I'm studying this, So at that time, it was something I had to be realistic and separate myself. And it went okay. But Rose has always been in my heart. Always been a family. Always been family.
I'm joking with him. He knows it. There was a lot of politics back in the days. It was really hard to navigate between schools and stuff like that, especially with the old timers. And still this day, some of the old timers are still the same way. Oh, you're gonna do this? No, you no train there. You only train here, my friend.
My friend. But MMA fighters now have no idea how those politics work at all. Like they don't know that. Like,
which is awesome.
You could not go to another gym. You just couldn't go. Like unless you wanted to get kicked out of your gym. Yep. Like, and Dean was very, very like, Dean knows that, hey, go train wherever you like. If you got to go train. But just understand, like, there's going to be some resistance, and he was right. I mean, you couldn't just roll into, any, jiu-jitsu gym and not be a part of what they're doing just to train. People didn't like that at all. And then
look, you don't need to go.
Then you find out that you're training with Dean. It's like the stigma even went up even higher. Because I remember I'd cruise over, be somewhere and be like, oh yeah, come over, you're in a different city or whatever, and you come train with us, you're fine. And then they find out, oh, who do you train with? Dean Lidster. What? And then there was politics in those early days. I
always thought it was really funny when you would get a coach that would go, hey, oh, you're only a blue belt. At my gym, you'd be a purple belt, At my gym, and so sometimes you get some coaches would try to poach. They would try to hunt, get students from different gyms. And those days, I'm sure it still happens today, but I'm too old now to realize,
Yeah. But look, you don't even need to go back that far. It's like just like a couple of years ago when Cub Swanson fought Kron. Said Cub was having a hard time finding place to train because he was fighting Kron.
Yeah, that was just that was silly.
No, he was not. He was not.
You got one guy to say no because of whatever. That
was the one guy he was training all the time under. And the guy's okay, like maybe not.
I think there's politics and there's politics. You know what I mean? But jiu-jitsu always had politics. My invitation had nothing to do with the politics, so I don't even know why we got into the subject. Zero at all. But okay. All right, politics. I guess he didn't want to call me because I know my dad wears a gi. I guess. What the hell?
Always family, Rose. Always family. Siempre have a familia. Siempre. So Hans, I've known him for a long, long time. Initially, he was involved heavily in the wrong X sports like surfing, skateboarding, motocross riding. I mean, and so he's damaged his body from doing these crazy sports. And now he found a crazy sport called jiu-jitsu and a crazy sport called kickboxing. He does them both still, you know, so it's awesome. And we're still here, you know. We live about 30 minutes away, not too far away. And when I get a chance, I always try to reconnect with him when I can, you know. So,
That's
Hans,
cool.
did you live in Hawaii too? Hans, did you live in Hawaii too?
No, I just go back and forth a lot. And with my phone number, I have an 808 number, but it's funny because when I got my cell phone, I got it in Hawaii like years ago, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna keep this number, but I've always lived in San Diego.
I've been wanting to change my area code to 808. 808.
Yeah, it's a cool. It's like oh, because when it pops up, it's 808. You know, like I don't know if you want to change it to 818, but 808's better.
No, I don't want to change it. No, I don't want to change it to 818. No,
I'm not getting this
I lived in
joke.
Hawaii when I was younger. So when I first moved to the U.S., my mom was like, "Where do you want to go?" My dad lived in California. I was like, Hawaii. And at the time, she didn't have access to computers. So what she got was like pictures of somebody that worked for her, and always showed the big island. She's like, "Oh my God, she's going to the moon. There's nothing there. What's happening?" But anyway, it was great. It was awesome.
But then you went to Oahu though, right?
I went to Oahu. Yeah, I went to Oahu. Yeah, my Uncle Helson was there. My Aunt Angela lived in the North Shore, so I lived in the North Shore with her for a while. And then my dad was like, "Yeah, no, you got to come down." And it was UFC 5 when my party Rocky Point Sunset Girl thing got cut off. Haleiwa, no more. And I was like, okay,
no more.
UFC 5. I had to come and work for with them. So I was like, all right, fine, bye. But it was good.
That's a good story, though.
He was telling me they went to Pride in 2005, and then he started the store in England. Let's finish that one just so people know.
Okay. So at this point, it's 2000 and no, it was before Paige was in the UFC. You were in the UFC. You weren't even in the UFC yet. So neither of them were in the UFC. Rampage,
2005, 2004.
It was because he was there for the press conference.
Okay.
So it was 2006.
Okay.
It was 2006, and so we get this like call from an English like promoter saying, hey, we have a seminar that we want to bring Rampage and Dean to, and we're going to pay you a bunch of money, come out here, do the seminar. And at the same time, they were announcing that they were going to start doing UFC shows in Europe. So they had a giant press conference going on when Dana was out there, and it was me, Rampage, Dean, and Shannon Gugerty, and we flew out there to initially do the press conference, because Rampage was getting announced at the press conference that he was going to be fighting in the UFC. So it was 2006-ish, around that time. And then, because when did you fight? When was your first fight?
Also 2006.
You're 2006 too. And so we go out there, and they pick us up in a limo at the airport.
A Hummer limo.
Oh, wow.
And like during that time, it was like, holy shit.
In England, you don't see Hummers in England that much, so that's a really exotic thing to have in England. Or limo, yeah.
So we get picked up in this Hummer limo, and we're like, this is gonna be a good trip. Like this is legit. The guy's picking us up in a Hummer limo, and we went straight to the press conference, because that's where we got the hotel. So we go straight to the UFC press conference, and we go in there, and they do the press conference. Dana, announces to Europe that they're coming out to the UFC is coming out to Europe. And then like after the press conference, we go outside and the Hummer limo is gone. Wait a second. Like, where's our like all of our stuff, like our bags, everything was inside the Hummer limo. And it took off, and we're all just sitting there going, holy shit, what's going on? And then so we start making some phone calls, try to figure out what's going on. It turns out the promoter didn't pay the limo driver, and then the promoter canceled the entire event, took everybody's money that was coming to go see these guys. We had no hotel, we had nothing. And then so I get a hold of the guy, the limo driver. I had to pay off the limo driver just to get our bags back. Like now, like it was like the guy was so cool, like get in the limo, drive to the press conference. By the time it's give me the money and I'll give you your bags. And it's like the exchange of the money. And then he just took off. And we're like, what do we do?
Holy shit.
In England right now, we have no hotel. Now the seminar is canceled. And it's me, Rampage, Dean, and Shannon Cougarty. And like, I mean, like the tail end, like the conference was like just wrapping up. And I ran back up and I saw Dana and I'm like, hey, we're stuck, man. Like, we don't have any place to go. Like, can you help us out? And Dana got us all rooms at the hotel. We stayed at the hotel for like, I want to say like 3 or 4 days. Yeah. And then at the hotel, I just like, it was back in the MySpace days. And I went and I literally organized a seminar at the Wolf's Lair that at Anthony McGann and Mike Bisping's place.
So it was 2006 because Ultimate Fighter was 2005. So 2006, it was, and we had a good seminar actually. Maybe like 25 people showed up. But
no. There was like 75 people.
Okay.
It was packed. It was packed because I remember we made all the money back.
I'm getting old. I'm forgetting details.
No, I remember we made the money back that we lost that like just by going out there, and then we ended up staying in Liverpool. We went out with Bisping and everybody, and that's when you almost got stabbed.
Yeah, I went to a.
Holy shit! The story gets better and better. Okay.
Rampage was he had my back. We go. There's a big nightclub, and Bisping is going to be across the street at this little bar. So we go across. As we're walking to the bar, these two guys. Well, Rampage Jackson
with the Triumph logo on there too. He's got the Triumph logo.
These guys are walking, and they were not from England. They had a heavy accent. They were from not England. They were like staring me because me and Rampage. Hans, we weren't dressing like like British people. We're dressing like Americans. So Rampage goes, "Hey man, what's up? You don't like us?"
No. Rampage had this gigantic NASCAR jacket on. I remember, and it was like it just stuck out bad. And then we were all next to him. The way we were all talking, everybody was just looking like they're not from here, you know.
Yeah, they were looking at us, but me, Rampage, Hans, and Mike Bisping wasn't there yet. But anyways, big guys. They're kind of like they're very confident, and they had trench coats on. Como se fala esse tipo de casaco muito grande? So Rampage goes, "Hey man, you don't like us?" And they go, "We did not say this. We didn't." They had a big accent. They were from somewhere else. And so we went to the nightclub, and they wait in line. The line for the nightclub goes around the building, around the building. So we go to the bar. We wait for Mike Bisping or someone else to show up. Now we go to the club across the street. It took an hour for them to wait in line, and now these same guys are at the front of the line. We walk right in the front, and because me and Rampage, Hans, and we're UFC, we got right in the front, and they were very angry. Like, why did they get in front of us? And the bouncer said, "Hey, mate, one day when you're at UFC, you can get in front of the line too." And they were very angry. So later on, an hour later, we're dancing, have a few cervejinhos, a few beers. And it's one of those nightclubs. It's all low seating. So when you stand up, it's very obvious. I go to go shishi, okay? I'll be right back. So I stand up to use the men's room. And these three guys stood up and followed me, saw it, because Rampage was he was smoking a cigar and drinking Red Bull or something. I don't know. He saw me walk in, and it's not a good sign when you're taking a piss and three guys are behind you with coats on, with knives. So Rampage scared them because now it's two big guys, not one big guy, and they left. They left the nightclub, so they were going to do something bad to me. And England is pretty known for knife crime. It's harder to get a gun. I don't get shot or stabbed, so Rampage shot my back. I'm very glad he was there.
Yeah, that's true. And everybody says that about England, right? Like, because guns are not allowed, but everybody carries a fucking knife, so it doesn't really help.
Yeah. It was an interesting trip, but it was one of those times that like and it was before Rampage wasn't the UFC champion. Dean hadn't fought in the UFC yet, so it was right. And Bisping was just. I mean, he was just. Was he on the Ultimate Fighter yet?
He already won. The thing is, I don't think the show aired yet, or did it? I'm not sure. He already won the whole thing. I already trained him, so I already knew Bisping. So, actually, I trained Bisping in 2005 in the Ultimate Fighter. What 2006? I forget.
I don't think
Oh,
you. No, I don't.
2005, 2006. I was actually in Japan cornering Jerome Lebaner. So it was 2006. We did the show, and then I fought 2006. So it was 2006.
But we were there before then. I don't think he had won yet.
Yeah, but the thing is, Bisping, I remember I was in France, in Japan for New Year's, 5 to 6. I came back for February, and then February they had the show Ultimate Fighter, or March. It was over in 6 weeks, so it was probably like summertime. And then I fought like in November.
No. We were there in the wintertime though, because it was cold as shit. I remember.
Yeah, but I didn't fight yet. You'll see.
I don't know. We're arguing over like this is how long ago. Either way.
You guys look like an old couple arguing about some dates. It doesn't matter. I don't want to start therapy in here.
The truth is that at that time it was like the impact of MMA and the UFC wasn't there yet. It wasn't as big as it was, like it is now. And so like it was just ramping up. Everyone's walking around, not like nowadays, if that were to happen, you would have a whole different scenario on your hands. But it was just a crazy story because, I mean, if you look at all the people that were involved, I mean, Bisping, Rampage, Dean, me, we're all out in England, just roaming around, like lost in England, almost not having anything. And it turned out to be a positive. And the following year, like Rampage, wins the belt. Dean had his first fight in the UFC and won his fight. And it was just and then everything just changed. The whole thing just it changed.
And you were always around? Like, were you a fighter or it all started with you training at the same academy and you just got like the best buddies from there?
So I started training with Dean, and I started the competitive route with Dean because I was in action sports, and so I was doing surfing and I was doing skateboarding, and I was so burnt out on that side of doing all that stuff that I wanted to go, and I've always wanted to, I really wanted to get into, doing jiu-jitsu, and I really wanted to get into Thai boxing, and so I started training with them. I did competitions. We had all kinds of competitions, in-house competitions. And then I had to make a decision. And it was one of those things back then. I mean, I had a really good job. We had a shoe company called Osiris. I had sponsored a lot of fighters at that time. And I was like, there just wasn't enough for me to go. I look back at it now, especially when our age, where we were at, Dean hit it at the time, where it was pioneering, where people just were making a little bit of money. You know what I mean? If you were at the top, you could be making a couple $100,000 maybe, like nothing like it is now.
At that time, if you were like Chuck Liddell, you were making a couple $100,000.
If you were Chuck, and so for me, I mean, I had a really good job. We had a really big company at that time, and I had to make decisions, and I'm like, do I quit doing everything I'm doing right now? And I'm just, I have a family, I'm married. I'm like I wanted to, I mean, I really wanted to go that route. But then, Dean and I had talked about it many times where it was just just keep doing what you're doing. And so I ended up going the business route, because it was something that I also, if I was going to start going, professionally fighting, going that, there was going to be a time that either I was going to burn out and not want to do it ever again, or try to figure out how I was going to get into another business. Or what happened to me was I ended up starting a business in MMA, which was my first business, was Throwdown. So I started making cages, and I started building out gyms, and I started to I did equipment, and I saw this place in the industry where I was like, okay, I could take all the knowledge I have from action sports, which is everything that I've done, since I was, I only worked in marketing. So I took everything from the, understanding how to, with professional athletes, working with the X Games, working with big organizations, because there was no one like me doing that in MMA. Everybody was coming from different angles, but no one had a base in martial arts and in
the experience of business.
So I had this little niche that I jumped into, and I took Dean with me, and we started. And so the first company I sponsored him with Osiris, and that's when I saw that there was some Dean was the first sponsored athlete I ever had with Osiris shoes. And, you know, we were a really big skateboard company, and we had shoes globally. You know, we had them all over the world. You know, we're selling millions of dollars worth of shoes. And so just as like a test, you know, I put the logo on Dean shorts, you know, in Pride. And I started, friends of mine that I had no idea were into fighting, no idea, started calling me like, hey, I saw that logo on Dean shorts. And I'm like, wait, you saw that fight? I'm like, oh yeah, I love Pride, man. I love watching the UFC in Pride. I'm like, holy shit, like there's more people watching this than this, like our group, right? And then I kind of moved on, and I was like, okay, so with Osiris, I sponsored Diego Sanchez, I sponsored Brandon Vera, I sponsored Clay Guida, and I, you know, like guys that were like just coming up in those early days.
And they're still fighting to those three names you just gave. They're still fighting today. What the fuck?
And so I mean, Diego fought with the shorts on in the UFC, and that like we got calls, boom, like you know, at Osiris, like holy, like it was just ringing, and so I in my head I'm like, there's no like, you know, Tap Out was doing its thing, and it was working, but they were like a really, you know, they were really in the combat sports market, and they knew combat sports, but there was no other companies coming in from outside. Like there was no action sports companies that had anything to do with fighting. So we started sponsoring a lot of fighters with Osiris. And in 2006, I had like my old business partner and I had, you know, we came up with the idea to start, you know, a full-fledged company, which was Throwdown. And so we did cages, clothing, equipment, everything. And so the first people on the team were Rampage, of course, Dean, of course, Boss Rutan, who else do we have? Chuck Liddell and Randy.
Mayhem Miller.
Oh, wow.
Mayhem. Yeah, and so Kung Lee was after. Okay. But Kung Lee was a part of it. But so I just took, and you guys, and you know, because you know why, you know, surfing, you know, I mean, it's I took the surf model of when surf companies sponsored surfers and just did it with MMA. And I was like, I'm going to build a team out, but it's not going to be, I'm not going to give this to everybody. We're going to make it tight. You know, it's going to be like, if you're sponsored by Throwdown at that time, you knew, like we had the logo on the right guys, and it worked really well. And I did that for about a year and a half. And then my business partner and I just ended up like clashing heads, and we couldn't do the business together anymore. He bought me out, and I started Triumph. And that's when I started Triumph in 2000, like in late 2007. And I brought the same guys with me. I brought Rampage, I brought Dean, and I did the same shit. And I still have Triumph to this day. I mean, we're still making equipment, we're still doing stuff, and like, you know, it's been a steady process. So to answer, that was a really long answer for the question, but basically,
no, but it's actually awesome because I was gonna get to like what is exactly what you do.
And I didn't know you were Throwdown at all. Didn't know about it. So,
yeah,
cool.
Because I talk about it because I was sad on how it happened, like because like it was such a bad thing, like when we had this, like I mean we had to sue each other, you know, like it was a really bad breakup, and so I was pissed off, and I never told anybody. So like if you knew like the guys that I sponsored, and you in the early days of like me building like I built Scott Coker's cage for Strikeforce, like Scott, like I like when I say built it, like we physically built it, like welded it together, fabricated it, brought it up to the Strikeforce event. And to this day, Scott and I still talk about how that was like, you know, how we met, is building a cage for him. And then same thing with Reed Harris and WEC. Like I did all those things, and then, you know, I still was like balancing between that and action sports. So I was like living in two worlds. Like I was doing the MMA stuff, which was not like it is, like it has grown so much more. But in the early days, you know, it was like to have a job in MMA and tell somebody you worked in MMA, they couldn't understand it. It's just like saying you're fighting in the UFC early days. Like what do you do? You know?
Yeah. It's also that time, like people go, how do you make a living as a grappler? I said, well, I'm actually the one person that I make 40 grand to win the absolute, or I made 40 grand to win the super fight. Only one person in the world gets 40 grand for a match, you know, only one person actually. So I was in a very, very exceptional, weird position. So at that time, but now look at this. Here's guys, Gordon Ryan he's making like $1 million or something, like sponsors, more.
Oh, yeah.
Sponsors,
Like
right?
every instructional he puts out, it sells like 300, 400, 500 grand in a couple of weeks.
That's awesome. Sports growing so big, you know.
And that's like another thing too. So we talked about this for years, and it was one of those things that, just from the business side, you know, like I looked at Dean. I knew what Dean had. I mean, like I knew that there was, you know, he had pioneered something, because I knew when he was teaching us everything, you know, lower body, it was always frowned upon anytime I would go to a traditional jiu-jitsu, you know,
Zapatera.
every time, you know, and I would, you know, it'd be one of those things that was like, you know, it wasn't taught and it wasn't talked about. And it was, you know, he was really ahead of his time when he was doing it, you know.
Yeah.
And
not just that, Dean was competing in everything and beating everyone. So he was very much the Gordon Ryan at that time.
Oh, for sure. 100%. I mean, it's and that's, you know, it's even, I mean, John, you know, credits Dean for even thinking of it as his system, you know, like, and so when you know, like when a lot of the new guys, you know, and I hear this a lot, you know, like, I mean, John's done a phenomenal job at doing what he's doing, but you know, it's like, for me, it's like I go back and I think, and I'm like, Dean's been doing this since I met him in 2001.
No shit. You look at the fucking ADCC record of him. He's submitting everyone with leg locks and shit like people are doing today.
And so when we would learn these things from Dean, he would even tell us, hey, like, look, you're going somewhere. Just don't, you know, like, these guys aren't going to know, you know, and it was true, you know, because you could find brown belts and you could find guys in those days, from the 2001 to 2006 days, right, that had no concept of what Dean was doing with the leg submissions, and you know, you could catch them like all the time, and they would be like, their minds would be blown, you know, and then it just started to gradually evolve into what it is now. And you kind of just figure that, like, this is all, I mean, like, this is Dean's hybrid system of where he went with his jiu-jitsu into MMA, into Vale Tudo, into everything.
Yep. Good
days. I remember seeing some tweets or Instagram between you and Gordon. There was never any animosity between you guys, right? Like you guys were good. You guys were all school, right? Because you can never actually tell if Gordon is actually mocking someone or is just being truly respectful. I saw you comment on something, and he replied something like, "Hey, I'm just trying to be like you, champ," or something like that. And I was like, I couldn't catch if he was
Gordon Ryan.
No,
Lister.
No. I've sent videos to Gordon, you know, from Dean, just like high videos and stuff, and Gordon has always been like so respectful to Dean.
Yeah,
like 100%.
I would think so.
100%.
Everybody in the no-gi game should be.
Exactly. Well, that's true. That's true.
I think that he's good at selling, and you know, nowadays, man, even Colby Covington, he was caught, like, not on a hot mic, but he wasn't trying to be loud about it. But someone's like, "Hey, you actually gave me some advice, some fan," and he said, "Hey, why are you not like this in public?" He said, "People don't want to see that. People don't want to see that." Right. So I think, like, you're smart now if you can sell the fights. You know, if you can talk, you create some charisma around you. Even like, if people hate you, at least they want to see you.
Exactly, that work. I have a good friend, and we just got a podcast with him, Paulo Costa, and half of Brazil loves him, the other half hates him. But he's the guy who moves the needle in Brazil. That's him. And I was just telling him, I said, look,
his tweets are next level, bro.
Oh, it's so fucking. Last night he was sending me prints from the shit he was tweeting about Luke Rockhold. I was fucking crying. I was like, holy shit.
What was that? He said Luke Rockhold and like Victor Belfort or something.
So he Luke went on aerial and said that Paulo is avoiding a fight with him and shit like that. And Paulo said, "Dude, you're not even in the ranks. There's no point. I'm number 4." It was like they had a conversation. So then Paulo had it, and he tweets something. Hey, because Luke says something about Paulo using steroids. And then Paulo tweeted something saying, "Hey, I think in your mind, every big Brazilian guy is on steroids." And he put a picture of Vitor knocking him out. and he say, "Oh, maybe you just have like bad memories about it." And then he tweeted back saying, "Actually, I have something to. I have a revelation to make. When Vitor is my father, and when I went to the UFC, they used to call me Baby Vitor or something like that." And then he went on and on saying Valid is his stepdad. It's so fucking funny.
I gotta say that he's pure comedy. He can sell some shit for sure.
Yes, man. No shit.
I definitely like to see him fight. I mean, I don't know when that's happening, but he definitely needs to.
He's guessing like June, July. That's what he wants. But he's in I think he's in a little tough place with the UFC right now, and they battling his last his last fight in the UFC contract. So they're still negotiating. I'm not sure what's gonna happen though.
They'll find a way. I mean, he's entertaining.
But I thank you for all the monster shit you sent to him because he comes to my house.
Anything
I love it, like
man.
all the limited stuff. I got them all.
You had the boxes, and I was like, "How the fuck did you get those boxes, bro?"
No, I didn't put it. Like I had the boxes. I was like, I was gonna put him right here on the. I was gonna put it on the desk here and make a joke, but they're so fucking big I couldn't fit them. I was like,
big.
fucking forget it.
Next week you get a card. Your membership has been canceled. Thank you.
I was when you sent a picture of the boxes, I'm like, how did you get those boxes, bro?
Yeah, because, man, I got my connections.
you must, because those are. I mean, that's a whole other part of the story, but like that's a whole other deal. Is that obviously I've been at Monster for almost 12 years now, and a lot of people don't realize it's been 12 years since the MMA program started at Monster, and it's been a long road, just like everything else. We've taken it from absolutely nothing, to where we're the largest brand in combat sports, and it's been good. It's been a good thing just because I literally started the program with 2 people, and giving Dean some same shit, giving Dean some monsters, and like having it raw and then evolving it, same exact template when it comes down to athletes. It's like we had the opportunity to go. When we got to the UFC, it was one of those things where, hey, we could put your logo on every single fighter, and we're like, no, we don't want that. We want to have them on. We only want them on monster fighters that we sponsor, that we like, that, it's our deal isn't like some of the other deals where it's like, it blankets everybody else. It's like we have individual deals with individual athletes. And so we sponsor them, and we want to make sure that people know that there are athletes, and it's something to be, it's aspirational. So if you get, when you become a part of the team, you're a part of a real team. It's not just handing them out just to hand them out.
And it gets that achievement feeling for the guys too, right?
What are you looking for, like, when you see an athlete that represents the brand like Monster, that you're like, okay, this is a guy that I really like?
It's everything. And it's not, the question always gets asked because it's one of those things like, hey, this guy is, he's a champion. He's won all these fights. How come you don't sponsor him? And like, a lot of it comes down to personality, and it comes down to what the brand's about, like the brand ethos. So if we really look for people that fit the mold of what we're doing, that like kind of live the lifestyle that we're a part of. And so when we find that, we stick with them, and we stay with, I mean, like, a lot of the fighters and a lot of people that have fought for us and been a part of what we've been doing have been with us for a really long time. And so, it's a combination of having the charisma and going out there and just, like not just being, you got to also sell the brand, right? Like, and it's not just being like a guy that goes out and fights and then doesn't do anything. Like, that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for people that are, like an overall package, because really at the end of the day, they are selling the brand, and so, there's times, and I tell this to fighters all the time, because they always ask the same kind of question. Like, what does it take to get not only just a Monster sponsorship or just sponsorships in general? And I say, look, there's some fighters out there that have won everything, but it's really hard for them to get sponsors. And then there's some fighters out there I mean, Conor McGregor is the perfect example of it. Doesn't matter if he wins or loses. You know, he puts on, he's a showman, you know, so he's out there, and when he's doing what he's doing, you know, the attention is on him. And so, you know, that like if you're sponsoring him or if you're working with him, you're going to have the same kind of attention. And then you combine the two together. That's what that's what I'm looking for.
He was so much so that Thomas, you don't want to tell a story about the picture with Conor.
Which one?
I'll just say it. It's not that bad. So this is like Hans was in a picture one time with Conor McGregor, and you got, was it death threats?
Oh yeah,
from Russians.
Yeah, no, well,
shit.
Okay, well, okay, so yeah, this is it. So it was before the Khabib fight. It was
holy shit.
Conor. Okay, so Conor posts up a photo of him and I together the day before the Khabib fight, and I was like, I saw it, and I'm like, holy shit! Like, you know, it was like one of those things that, like, you know, I wasn't expecting Conor to put this photo up. You know, it was just a rare moment in time that you're like, this is one of the biggest fights ever, and like I'm like, oh fuck, you know, like it was like,
and this guy just did that, right?
Yeah, and I'm like, you know, in one level, I'm flattered because I'm like, you know, he's thanking for the sponsorship, and he thanked me, and it was great. That part of it, I was like, that was a very cool gesture, and I was very thankful for him to do that. On the other hand, you know, you had the biggest rivalry ever right now going on with two different people, and it was real. I mean, like, this was real shit. I was in, you know, like I was right there when the shit broke off after the fight, and people were fighting next to us, and bottles were being thrown, and I was getting these DMs, just like endless DMs saying, "Fuck you, Conor McGregor. If I see you, I'm gonna shoot you. I'm gonna stab you." I'm like, bro, I'm just in a photo, man. Like, hey, like you're taking this way too far. But there was some serious, that was a legit bona fide like rivalry going on. You know what I mean?
Just get your notebooks, like places I like to visit. Just cross off Russia from.
Yeah, I've mended a lot. Like I had to go back out there, and a lot of times I have to explain. I'm like, look, you know, my relationships, because it does get like that, and it's very much like having a relationship with Dean and jiu-jitsu, and everyone knows this, is that like when you're connected from a training and coach to whatever, you're connected, and if he does something wrong, somehow I'm involved, you know. And it's the same thing weirdly with me with the sponsorship side, is that like if people think that I'm connected, like, oh, I'm sponsoring this guy and they see me around him, like, you know, I had a lot of people, I was wondering, like, how the fuck do you go and hang out with, you know, do something with Daniel Cormier, and then I see you with John Jones literally like the next week, and I'm like, I'm doing my job. That's what
fucking work, right?
I don't have any animosity. It's between those two guys, you know. I don't have any animosity between Khabib and, you know, his team. It's between, you know, Conor and whatever the hell they're doing. But like, what I do is I'm a marketing guy, man. So I take that stuff and I take what I do and like all the shit that I do on, you've seen on the fucking internet and stuff, is like that all propels into going back to selling, you know, the brand and bringing MMA and like bringing attention to stuff that Dean and I do. You know what I mean? Like, we, you know, I'm diverting stories real quick because I know that Dean's got to go pretty soon, but I'm just going to divert it into this, is that, you know, early, you know, I was like, Dean, we got to start doing instructionals a long time ago. Fucking years ago. Yeah. Dean, I kept telling Dean, we got to start doing instructionals. We got to do DVDs. We got to do all these things. We got to, like, we got to, you know, Dean's such a, like, you know, he's I got to do it perfect. If I don't do it perfect, I'm like, you know, like, you know, he gets in his doing stuff. I got to think about it. I got to do it perfect. And I'm like, Dean, we're going to miss the boat. You got to do instructionals.
It never does.
So we did a couple videos where we were going over just simple shit, you know, to put up online. And those videos, like, it wasn't those videos that took off. It was the videos of me fucking with him that went batshit crazy. Because it was like, you know, like we were doing some shit that was like, no, you know, like, it's like, you know, like Dean gets so serious, and then I was, you know, and some of these videos were just taking too long, so I was getting bored, and I just started fucking with him, and then I would just take some of those clips, and I'm like, I'm just gonna throw it up there, and people loved it, you know, like, because it's one of those moments that, like, I mean, we could go do something in the back right now, and he could go over the most technical move ever, and people will be like, but then if I just, like, you know, just do something like that to him, It goes crazy.
Hey, he does look, Dean, I have to respect your Russian Dean and all the stuff, the impersonations that you do, but he does a really good Dean Lister right there. That was legit. That was my favorite part of the whole story.
It goes, that's Dean Lister.
Dude, that was perfect.
That's so good. That's so good.
And then he throws a Brazilian there. That's funny.
Mas
That's
outros dias, eu tô vingando às vezes, então estamos filmando às vezes, agora tá saindo esse vídeo, eu vingando contra ele. Eu vingando.
Jura?
Vai sair mais. Vai sair mais, juro.
Are you talking shit about me?
I said that there's also videos of me getting payback on you. Ele merece.
I saw one where you come and kick his coffee or something like that.
No, he kicked my food out of my hand and it went all over the place.
Yeah.
He deserved.
I'll cap it off with this. Back when we were young and we would go out to clubs and do stuff. This dude, if you be trying to. He's not the best wingman. I'll just say that. You're hanging out with Dean. You're hanging out with Dean, and you're trying to pick up on a girl. You're talking to somebody. All of a sudden, Dean comes up, starts speaking in Arnold voice. Hello, I'm Terminator, and then he goes into that, and he starts speaking 7 different languages, and everyone's getting confused. And then he starts. I swear to God, then he'll do this. He'll start doing magic tricks. He'll start doing magic tricks. And
Dean, he's killing your game, Dean.
Hey, all the guys are lining up now, watching Dean's magic tricks, and the girls are just fucking running away.
No. he get mad because the girls like my magic tricks. That's true.
Yeah, right.
He's making it
no girls want to see magic tricks. You still
Dean,
don't
he's
understand
making it sound like you scared the girls away, Dean. Don't let him.
Not at all.
He starts people. He starts rear naked, choking people, and
I'm special.
Scaring people. He's definitely he's a special.
Dean, does it work? Does it work, Dean? Does it work, Dean? Does it work?
Sometimes.
I don't know. I never had problems with with having friends of the opposite sex. Never had problems with that. So never had problems. So
So you guys need to work on your Russian and your magic trick.
His face is awesome.
Did you just come off like you're the ultimate player or something right now?
Yeah. You should look at his face. His face is like, that's what I do.
I've seen him fucking crash and burn 1,000,000 times. Don't even go there, dude.
Yeah, but tapinha no dói.
Tapinha no dói.
Like that.
Listen, Dean hooked up with a few of my friends, so I have to attest that he's pretty popular with the Brazilians. Because maybe they don't understand very much English.
Yeah, that's probably why.
No, because he can speak Portuguese. I've seen him do it. He can speak. That is the one.
It's like, oh, how cute.
Yes, that's right. It's like,
I will give him
listen to his accent.
I will give him that. That's the thing he can do that fucks us all up. Is that if we're traveling places, the guy he will learn a language. I swear to God, he will learn the language the day before we go somewhere. And so we're trying to like caveman communicate with people, and he comes up and just starts speaking like any language we're in, and like just starts rattling it off, and everyone's like, "Oh my God!" And then we're nothing to everybody else, and he gets treated the best because of that.
Like, his accent is so cute, and he does karate too.
No, all my girlfriends are like, oh my God, his accent is so cute. Oh my God.
Yeah, he can fight. Oh, he fights. Yeah, he does karate, kung fu, or something like that.
So in Brazil, I won't say the girl's name. She's probably married now or something. But there was let's say a girl that all the fighters were like, look at this girl. She was working for Abu Dhabi. And I was talking, she was like, what?
So you're not giving her away at all right now.
No.
Not at all.
You're not giving her away.
Not at all.
She was working for Abu Dhabi.
I'm not going to say the name, but it was 1997. She was blonde and working for Abu Dhabi.
In Sao Paulo. This girl was like, oh, hi. She knew, all the guys liked her. And I was like, hey, tudo bom. She's like, whatever. But then when I won Abu Dhabi, she's like, hey, how you doing? Let's hang out, So it's like, I don't know. One day you could be successful. One day you may not. It's okay. It's normal. I don't
What
think.
did you say no to her? Now Wait, what'd you say to her? I don't want you anymore now? Or did you hook it up anyways?
That was a different girl. That girl was that's a different girl. That's a different girl. That girl fucked up real bad, and I had to put her in her place. Okay, I had to do it. Okay?
I didn't know if you had the stories mixed up, and I wanted to continue.
This other girl I actually dated. I actually dated this girl. So, but the thing is, it's funny how before and then after, you know, the guy I beat, with all due respect, Alejandro Ferreira Cacareco, he's my same level. He beat me one time, 2 years before. He beat me 4-2. You know, he's same level, but for some reason, I got more attention than him. You know, so it comes and goes. You know,
for some reason, you ripped the fucking guy's leg off, dude.
Yeah, and Dean, he's like my
no, I'm serious. You guys all remember what he did to him, right? He ripped his fucking leg off.
Or Dean, and the guy is my uncle Hunter's age, right? No, he's not. Cacareco is young. Never mind. I was confusing with Eugenia for a second.
Oh yeah, that deal. Yeah, he's an older man for sure. For sure.
Sorry.
No, we're talking about someone else.
No, I was confusing Cacareco with Eugenia Tadeo by mistake.
Oh no, that's a
generation.
That's a different Cacareco.
Actually, ironically, that is what I would show. So when I tell people, when I was starting off with jiu-jitsu, I'd be like, I'm training with this guy, Dean Lidster. You know, we're doing, you know, he specializes in no-gi grappling. He's the Abu Dhabi champion. This is what would fuck people up, is that they would understand as it's Abu Dhabi and being the I'm like, he's the Abu. It's like that's the biggest, that's a big deal in this world, right? And they're like,
yeah.
The Brazilian jiu-jitsu is a big deal. I'm like, no, you know, like you can't. It's hard to explain that Abu Dhabi, you know, the ADCC that came up with this major championship is, you know, obviously it's not from Brazil, so it would always mess people up when I would try to explain who he is. So I would always just revert back to like him and then like a photo or like a video clip of Cacareco, what he did, and they'd be like, holy shit, fuck, that's crazy, man, like. You know, because I mean that to this day, I mean, I still look at that and go, "Damn, that day was gnarly."
For me that was my big special day of my life, because I went from being, you know, becoming, you know, okay in the world to become considered, you know, on paper the best. And I beat the guy I beat Cacareco. He's super good. He beat Cumprido Medeiros by guillotine in 30 seconds. Cumprido Medeiros is a monster. Jean-G Barrow is a monster. He beat him by footlock in 30 seconds or something. He beat Fabricio Verdum 8-0 or 5-0. Either one is he picked. I mean, he's a maniac, and I haven't in the finals. And that was the time where I had the 50-50. No one called it 50-50, but I had this position. If I cross my feet around your hips, you cannot turn. No puedes escapar. So I had this. No one taught it to me. I figured it out. I'm not the first person in history to do it, but I made it work at the world level. I think I'm the first person to get a submission in the finals of Absolute. It was always 1-0 or -1-0.
How much time we got? You good with time, team, or you have to go?
I have 5 minutes. Yeah, I have 5 minutes.
All right.
There it is.
Yeah, good day for me. You know.
Look at that old logo.
I know. And by the way, I wore my sungan because I thought I was not going to compete that day.
That's cool. My sungan.
I thought I'd be in Bermudas.
You don't shorts on.
Yeah, I didn't bring that day. You know?
Was that good day? Was that before or after that Jeremy Horn fight?
Oh, okay. I fought Jeremy Horn after this, and then I fought him a second time in UFC. So when I fought Jeremy Horn, it was 2004, and he was a more experienced fighter. He caught me really bad. Yeah,
that was in the King of the Cage.
Yeah, I learned a lot from that fight though. He had over 100 fights.
I was there.
I had like 5 fights. Double single. I was bleeding a lot. Yeah, blood was in my eyes.
There, you came to that fight?
No, I was at the fight. The shorts were all red, bloody. It was terrible.
Yeah. Dean, you should have a white sungan like Hickson.
No, for the Jeremy Horn fight, I think he had white shorts, or Jeremy had white shorts. It was crazy. It was a lot of blood.
I just remember it being like 30 degrees outside. That fight, the King of the Cage fight. Yeah, and it's the Boba Casino. It was so cold.
Very, very cold. But it was No, here, by the way, Cacareco, I knew he had a good guillotine, and I'll tell you what, he had the best guillotine in the world. And I told myself, well, people are saying, be careful with guillotine, be careful with guillotine. But I thought to myself, you know what? I'd like to feel and escape the guillotine. It's a very strange thing because it sounds like I'm not being cocky. I wanted to escape the guillotine.
Shit, look at that. That's deep too.
And I want to escape guillotine. Yeah. He was there for 30 seconds choking me. And the thing is, he had the best guillotine in the world at that time.
And you have the best chin.
Well, it's for yeah. It's hard to lock my chin. If I can escape,
that's it.
And he,
wow.
And then as soon as I escaped, I saw his eyes, and he was like, he couldn't believe it because he was really choking me, and I have good resistance, so I took it, and I knew, and I said, I'm going to go for my game. I said, I'm sure he had footlocks, but I had to believe in myself. That was a special day for me.
There it is. There.
And this is where I stop, and he tries to break my knee here, right there. He tries. But my foot is in a direction where he cannot hurt my knee. If my foot was on the other side, he would break my leg. If my foot was on the other side. So I decided to go for what became 50-50. So he tries right there. If my foot was on the other side, he would break my knee right there. It's a good counter, but not for where my foot is at. So then I decided to do it. I let go, and I passed. And in his face, he has no idea. No one knew. No one look. And he's a footlock guy. His face he has no idea.
Oh shit!
He was done.
And there's a reason he tapped. It was a very damaging move, and he's a very good fighter, But that was a good day for me, A good day for me. It was good.
Yeah. Oh shit!
That's
awesome,
it.
Man.
That was
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, we'll finish with that, man. That was we'll finish on a high note.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I miss you.
I think that.
I miss you so much. I love you, and we got to see each other soon. Okay.
I think you guys need to get Gordon and Dean into a super exhibition match. You guys got to make that happen.
I could use $1 million.
Awesome.
What's an exhibition match like? Not real?
No, just not like. I mean, like just so it's not. It's the pressure's not as much. You know what I mean? Like it's more just.
Yeah, more showing like transitions and techniques and stuff,
Yeah,
right? That would be awesome.
I would like to put a match together.
What?
I would like to put Dean versus Ricardo Arona.
I'm down, yeah. I could.
Where is he? Do you know where he's at?
He's in the Hall of Fame.
Of course, I know where he's at.
Yeah.
I heard he's in
Okay,
Brazil.
Literally, yeah.
I know exactly where he's at, and he just started training not long ago too, a little bit now. So he's getting back to training.
I heard he's doing good. I heard he's in good shape, But yeah, he stopped at a time,
But you guys never had a grappling match together.
No, we had to fight in private.
No, but I mean, like, just to hey, put it together. I'll help you promote it.
There was a time I was kind of like
nice.
angry, but I was like, Rona, But now I just pass, and maybe if we can make good money, it's okay. But I don't have it in my head like, whatever any problems we have, I already forgive that.
Dean, you need to check. Are you like? How's your shoulder? Is your shoulder good?
Eu tenho que ficar, não sei, uns 5 ou 6 meses para melhorar.
I'm gonna send you some more Lexicure. Are you using a Lexicure on it? I'm gonna send you some more Lexicure.
Please send me.
Send me the Lexicure too. Look I need it too.
I need it too. Send everyone a Lexicure. Come on.
I've got more surgeries than him.
Listen, I'll send a box to each one of you, okay?
Oh, that's it.
Right.
Yeah.
So shoot me your addresses on the text message, and I'll send it to you guys a care package.
100%.
Sounds good.
Okay, sounds good. I'll add you to that group. We did a WhatsApp group so we could schedule the podcast and stuff. I'm gonna add Hands to that group.
No. You guys talk too much shit about me in there.
No. This isn't bad. All good stuff.
I don't think so.
No, there was no shit talking. No shit talking.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all. Everybody loves Rose.
But I'm happy with everything in my life, both ways. Love you guys.
You guys.
Love it too, Rose.
Okay? Beijos e abraços, okay?
Dean,
bye.
Thank you so much. And Hans, was a pleasure. Thank you so much. We got to do this again, and I want to hear stories about pride and shit like that.
Listen, a lot of people might not say that.
I got stories for days about this guy and all kinds of other people too.
Cool.
And a lot of people might not say that. You might not hear that, or you might hear that a lot. I just want to say thank you, because I know your company has been essential and fundamental in helping these guys in the sport to be where is it at. So I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
You know what? It's one of those things that I from seeing, watching him and watching like so many just pave the road, like I just want to see this thing grow, and I want to see everybody just do well. And like, it's been a long road for all of us,
Yeah.
And so more that you could give back and like see it actually happen. It's a good feeling.
Yeah. Tenho que ir embora, okay? Beijos e
Dean,
abraços.
thank you so much. I appreciate it, Dean. Thanks again. Hans, thank you so much.
I'll see you guys
Jose.
later.